Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings. And on a day like today where we're having a heat wave in the UK, our summers are very strange. We either get 2 weeks of kind of hotish weather and then the rest of it is crap, or we get these heat waves, which for other countries is like conditions normal, but we have a heat wave. And I'm in a room which is now fully closed off, got the blackout blind up so it doesn't affect the head tracking, doors closed, rig on the floor which is pumping out lots of hot air, and I'm going to start cooking. And I thought, well, it'd be nice to at least come to somewhere where it's nice and snowy and cold. Aidan, don't steal my helicopter, sunshine, you've got your own. It will just have that psychological effect of cooling us down. Anyway, so what's this video about, or what's this stream going to be about? It's very much about me getting some time in on the H500C. It's the new H500C from TOAG'S HANGAR. You may have seen the video on the channel with the OH6A, it's really a chance for me to get to know this helicopter. It's slightly more powerful, it's got a different instrument panel, and really just get some handling practice in and have a bit of fun at the same time. It's going to be very chilled out. There certainly isn't any kind of tutorial or anything like that. It's just, you know, having a chilled out Saturday morning flight with friends and me getting some practice in. So there will be mistakes. If you are the type that gets wound up when YouTubers who you think are meant to be experts but we're not start making mistakes, then you might get wound up by this, but we'll see. Anyway, here we got Michael. Good to see you, mate. Hello from South Shields. How is it up there? Is it you must be getting the heat wave as well, surely. Doge Demon, hello, good to have you along. And Aidan, of course, you got your Huey. Good, good. And I'm pleased to say, Aidan, that your Huey actually looks like a Huey in my sim. So that's rather good. Right, so have we got everything sorted out? I put a link to the Discord in the chat, so I remembered that. So first things first, if I can get back over onto here. We can do a quick, I'll tell you what I will do, I'm just going to turn my head tracking on. Tell you what I love about this, small details, but I love how there we go, that's better. I love how the little pitot cover flag flutters in the wind. Now it's a little thing, but just look how realistic that is. The detail, I mean, it's little details like that I just find really interesting, the way it's folding and rippling, and anyway, I'm not going to bore you with that, but I think it's rather cool. Right, so we'll get rid of him, and then we'll get rid of that. Quick look around here. This is a helicopter from New Zealand, by the way. Those of you that know your registrations will have spotted that. I just thought it looked rather cool, and I thought the colours would stand out well against the snow. Let's have that off. Have a look in the back, make sure we haven't got any squirrels nesting in there. Don't forget to duck down. Everything is looking fine in there. Always amazes me, these engines. I mean, you kind of know from the outside it's not a big helicopter, but they actually look quite tiny, don't they, considering they're about to take us up into the air and keep us safe. Right, let's get you down there, and I'm going to have another quick... Oh, let's go check the tail rotor. One of these days I'll get used to the walk-around. I don't really do walk-arounds in the conventional default, so doing this kind of walk-around is unusual for me, and I love a good first-person shooter, so I keep going to click reload and go prone. All looking good. Didn't work in the 500, no, the OH6A, so I'm just going to check there. Yeah, no, it's not, can't do anything with those. Quick look at the skids. No damage there. No damage there. Another quick look. We haven't left any strings on or anything like that. It's always a bit embarrassing when you do that. No, that's all good. It's a gorgeous helicopter, isn't it? When I was a kid, this would have been back in the 70s now. I had a toy one of these, and it was long before, you know, Magnum, or discovered Magnum and all that sort of thing. It was a toy police helicopter of the 500 series. I'm not sure which variant, but Absolutely loved it. Fell in love with the shape. Hello. What we got? I can hear a heli-whopper. Maybe that... The problem with the... at the moment with the Huey is that in multiplayer it's not showing the rotors turning, which is a great shame. When that gets fixed, it'll be great. It really will. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, blimey. A lot going on in the chat. Right, let's have a look. Yep, Yuka. Aiden's nailed it there. It's right. Narsa Squawk in Greenland. I just thought it'd be a nice little change, somewhere snowy and cold compared to here. Michael. Like watching videos play on Xbox with the graphics on PC look way better. Yeah, I've not played on Xbox, so I don't know how much you can customize it. I don't know how much else you can do. Oh, we've got another 500 there. But yeah, it's and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. The world is just amazing. I think for me anyway. 2020 was great. I can't go back to P3D now. As much as I miss my A2A Warbirds in there, which is really mainly what I used to do. The world in this simulator is just absolutely incredible. Hard to miss it. Steve, morning. I hope all is good with you. I hope you are well. And Doge is another rating as well. He's from Belgium. Oh, welcome from Belgium. Posh boy, Aiden, you've gone for the military version of the Hueys for some reason. The civilian version doesn't show. Oh, okay. Oh, I think we've had that before, haven't we? I think we've had that before. Right. Okay. So we've done the outside walk around. I'm going to run through the checklist, but I'm going to try and do it as quickly as I can. Cabin doors we've done. Tail rotors. Just check that. And tail rotor padlock pins are removed, and we've stowed them. Seat belt and shoulder harnesses, we've done that. And that's your seat there. Hope you're buckled in. Hope you've signed the insurance waiver, as always. Cyclic, yeah, that's all good. It's always good to check physical controls as well, especially with 2024, because I sometimes, like when I jumped into this earlier on, even though I'd got the controls set up for the OH6A in 2024, it doesn't care. I had to set them up again in 500C, or rather assign the profiles. That's a better way of saying it. Right, so where have we got? Rotor brake is stowed, landing light is off. Kind of jumping around a little bit here, which is a little bit naughty. Magnetic compass, check. So I know in the OH6A there's a toggle button somewhere, and it's going to be here. And if I had been sensible, I would have had a good look around, but I'm not seeing that. But we have got a whiskey compass in here, so that's all good. The OH6A doesn't have a whiskey compass. It has a toggle switch, and you switch between magnetic and gyro. Just to explain the context for my waffle. Right, altimeter. I am flying live weather, but what I have done is remove the cloud, because the live weather here actually is a little bit murky. So we have got the wind. We've got a 9 knot wind. All the W's from 291, and we've got snow on the ground, but what we haven't got is the cloud and precipitation. I might switch that back on in a bit, but I just thought if we want to have a look at some scenery, it's a bit murky otherwise. So what I will do therefore is let's have a quick look, and let me just lock off because I'm moving my head around looking at other screens, meanwhile kind of almost breaking your neck. Come on. There we go. Right, let's see what the good old QNH. Can we have the QNH, please? It is... Come on, where have you gone? There is 1013, and I've got a horrible feeling. Yeah, this is in the other one. Okay, I'm going to wind it to 0. I can't convert the different altimeter settings in my head right now, so and I'm not going to waste your time trying to figure it out, so I'm just going to I'm just going to 0 that for here. So we're kind of effectively setting the QFE. Don't know why I shouted that. My wife always tells me that when I'm streaming, even though I've got the doors and windows shut, it suddenly gets very loud. While I am talking about being loud, if you could do me a favour, if you could let me know once the engine starts running, let me know how the voice versus engine sound audio is. I was mortified when I watched the video back of the last H145 live stream. I don't tend to watch the videos. I just pick up to see, make sure there's no stuttering coming through in the recording, and also just check the audio. And the helicopter was so quiet compared to my voice. And no one complained in the stream, bless them, but it was, yeah, it was, it's a shame really. So I've turned the helicopter, I've turned the sim volume up a little bit. So if it gets a bit loud, then let me know. Right, okie doke. Everything is cool there. I've done all that. Radio switches. Just having a look here. We've got the GTN XI, although we're not going to be using it, but that is in there. I'm doing it again, aren't I? Moving my head around while I'm looking at a checklist. There we go. Right, done that. Circuit breakers. This is going to be slightly different to... there we go. There's all our circuit breakers. They are all in. I keep taking the head tracking off, but it is quite useful to have. Let me put that there, and then I'm not breaking your neck so much. Right. Fuel shut-off valve is on. We've done the circuit breakers. Electrical power, we can now switch to battery. That noise you can hear before, by the way, is Ado's Huey over there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a minute. Why is it starting? That's interesting. Do you know what? When I started my head tracking before, there was a click, and it's almost like my head tracking is, when I activate my head tracking, I'm using OpenTrack, and when I turn that on, it's almost like that somehow, even though there's no keybind set up in it to start an engine or do auto start, it's like it's put the starter switch on. Okay, let's let everything calm down. Everything calm down. There we go. Let's see what happens if I turn the battery on now. No, it's doing it again. Well, the starter switch is a toggle switch, and I've got it bound. It's not on at the moment on my Virpil collective. So I tell you what I am going to do. This is going to be a bit of a pain in the backside, but let's restart. Let's restart, and then I can quickly run through moving all our covers and everything again. It's funny how it's only just started doing that. There's obviously something weird going on with the bindings. Isn't it strange, if strange is the right word? More like blooming infuriating. That with flight simulators, you can do the slightest thing and all of a sudden things start acting weird. Quick check of the chat. We got Belgium, we got Norwich, Cambridge. Wow, we've got quite a few. Okay, let's get back onto here. That's in, that's all done. We've checked all that. I'm going to 0 the alt again to QFE. That's all fine. Collective is in the down position. Let's move that over there. So the fuel is in cut-off now. And we are good to go. Battery on. Hopefully now the blooming engine won't try and start. Thank God for that. Must remember, head tracking on before I load in the 500. Right, lights, cabin, panel instruments, fine with that. Don't need to do anything there. Ignition key switch on. There it is. Lovely jubbly. Something very tactile about that. Engine out. Auto reignition test. So we need to do that in the 500C. Didn't need to do it in the OH6A. So the what is it? Let me lock this off again while we're doing this. There we go. So we need to check the panel lights and engine out circuit breakers. Check that they are in. Let's have a look. I just realised that's the radio. Here we go. Panel light. And which one was it? Engine out, circuit breakers are in. Yep, that's in. That's all good. Place and hold test switch. Okay, so that's all come on. And we have got, what have we got left? Re-ignition light. Press to reset. Where is the re-ignition light? That's not it. Where have you gone? There it is. Boof. It's funny, after flying the OH6A, it's just finding the same thing in the right place. Okay, where do we get to with that? Caution warning lights, press to test, we've kind of done that. And we've got generator out, oil pressure out and engine out, which is what we would expect. Let's turn the old head tracking back on. I tell you what I am going to do actually, if I can find it on here. I'm not going to have the GTN-XI running in this. We'll get some old school radios in because we're not going to be using it. There we go. Excellent. Right, twist grip, we're going to test that again. So roll it back. Sometimes it's just getting the physical controller synced up. There we go. And cyclic control, yeah, that's all good. Happy with that. Times like this, I wish I had, you know, one of those springless cyclic sticks. That would be rather cool. But I have got a spring stick. Oh wow, there is a lot of chat going on. A lot of military chat. Good to have you all in. Binky, hi Binky, how you doing? I still prefer the Huey rotor slap for the win. The Huey rotor slap is pure music, there is no doubt. No doubt at all. Okay, engine start, cyclic recheck, yep, collective check, and pedals are all good. Anti-collision lights. Anti-collision lights, there we go, and I'll put the precision lights on as well. Now, interestingly, I've noticed this has got a start pump, but there is no mention of the start pump in the checklist. Now, I know in the 500E you activate the start pump for about 4 or 5 seconds or so and you switch it off. So I am going to, at the risk of breaking it and jumping the or jumping something that isn't in the checklist, I am going to do it, and let's hope it doesn't break anything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the bit I love. This is the bit where it's so immersive because I've got the I'm getting ridiculously excited, aren't I? I've got the starter switch set up on my Virpil Collective, and then so I can do the full flicky switchy turny throttly, which is kind of cool. Right, so obviously what we're going to be doing here is where's it gone? Oh, it's funny, it is in different positions. So when the RPM gets to between 12 and 15, I'm going to introduce fuel, and then we'll watch it come round. When it gets to 60, I'll release the starter. But more importantly, we're going to be watching these temperatures here like a hawk, and making sure that, yeah, you can just see it there. So it's okay if it goes to the amber to 10 seconds and comes down. It's okay if it goes into above that for 1 second. But if it starts wafting around over here for any point, then we've got a hot start. And we need to do something pronto about that, and the action for that is shut off the fuel and keep motoring the starter to keep everything turning and cooling it down, because the engine's not running with everything turning, it actually cools it. Okay, I need to shut up. Let's go. There's the fuel. Watching the temperature. Temperature's good. And there it drops. Sigh of relief from me that it all went well. And release the starter. And now watch the engine do its magic. So it's kind of looking after itself now. Everything's winding up nicely. Right, oh yeah, let's have a look. Oil pressure. Everything else is okay down there. Okay, next items on the checklist. Bum, 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 bum. So that engine idle speed. So we've got the 250C20. So it needs to be 61 to 65% NI, which it is. That's good, and our needles are aligned, so that's all good. Electrical power we've done. Generator switch we can now have U on. Sorry if I'm ignoring the chat for the moment. I will come back to you. We've got the that warning beep you can hear there is because we've got low rotor speed. Inverter switch, oh that's only on the OH60, that's alright. Cyclic friction release, I don't think that's modelled, but if it is and someone knows about it, shout. We've got the proper avionics switch, or I say we've got a proper avionics switch, that all seems to be on anyway, so I'm looking for an avionics switch and I'm not seeing an avionics switch. What is that? Utility power we don't need. That's okay. That's not an avionics switch. Yeah, well, that's okay. But how's the sound, by the way? Can you hear me over the sound of the engine? And also, hopefully, okay, I want to get a balance between you hearing the engine, which is far more exciting than the sound of my drone, but also understand what I'm saying, if that makes sense. So let me know in the chat. That would be most welcome. Torsen, how are you doing? Look at you. Look at you in your Huey there, looking splendid. Good to have you along, mate. Right, let's have the pitot heat on. Quick check down here, blah blah blah. That's on the checklist, by the way, blah blah blah. Twist grip throttle. Right, now we can fully open it. So we're just going to very gently introduce fuel, and if it's like the OH6A, we need to keep torque between about 30 and 35. We don't want to over egg it. Let it wind up gently. Sometimes I think maybe I'm a little bit overly cautious with this, but I don't want to break it. There we go. Let's just boof that out the way. Okay, so that's all done. Blah blah blah. That's all fine. So let's check the. So this is the RPM high beep. So we're winding that up now. Should go up to a max of 105. It's just below that, that's fine. And now we wind it back down again. That's all good. And we get the alarm, and now we wind it back up again. And we're going for 104, which is going to be our takeoff power. Something I noticed in the OH6A when I did the video the other day is when you're on the ground and you're at full chat, it creeps to the right. But I'm not seeing that at the... Oh no, there it goes. You see it just crept to the right a little bit there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of left stick in, just to try and counteract that a little bit. Right, reignition is armed. Quick look down there. We have no warning lights on. Cabin doors check. Collective sorted. Cyclic response check perform. With collective pitch fully down, gently move cycling stick and observe rotor tip for correct movement and track. I don't know if that's modelled. Oh, it is. Look. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. I don't know if I'm imagining it, but I could just see like where Torsten's top label name is. It's just dipping down a little bit. Right, cabin doors. Yeah, we've done all that. Instruments, done all that. Position of anti-collision lights. Did I put those on? Yes, I did. Pitot heat we've done. Now we can fly. Are you ready to fly? So, let me show. Wow, we've got quite a few. Muzz, good to see you as well. Alan, good to have you along. I'm going to show you guys on the map. The caveat to this is I haven't actually flown it yet, so I don't know what it's going to look like. But let's get to here we go. So we're taking off here at Narsa Squawk. It's Narsa Squawk. Narsa Squawk, I think it is. Take off from here. We are going to scoot over here. There's some settlements over here. We can have a look there. I'm going to maybe get some landing practice in. Got another settlement over here. It's like a little camping lodge by the looks of it. We'll have a tootle around here. Come over here. Head to the top of the glacier. Come back down here, and then whatever happens on the way. This is a chilled out flight, as I say. Hopefully, as long as I don't prang it. Right, while I've still got the chance, I'm going to pop in the chat the Discord link. We have a Discord. If you're on Discord and you want to come along and say hello, we are on there. Right, so that's in there. Quick check again that everything is alright. And we haven't got anything about to break. All our engine instruments are where they should be. Happy with all that. We've got loads of fuel. Our volt's good, our amps rather. Our needles are aligned. There is nothing that can go wrong. Nothing that can go wrong. Rob, how are you doing? Or Robert, I should say, I think. I'm a Rob, I think you're a Robert. Let's have a quick look outside. So we've got Ada, we've got Foxtrot Hotel Papa Romeo Alpha, we've got Torsten, we've got Alan, we've got Richard over there, I don't know if he's with us. We've got a Muzz. Quite a crowd. It's always fun doing helicopter group flights, I think. So for the guys that are joining along flying, I hope this isn't too boring for you, because there will be times where I'm maybe just holding a hover or just trying to practice something, but at least you can have a laugh at my lack of flying skills in this helicopter. Right, okay, so that's all good. That's all fine. Okay, right, I'm going to turn off the camera now so you can have a proper look of everything. Okay. Oh, I'll tell you what I'm going to do actually. I'm going to turn the labels off. Oh, that's interesting. Let's try on this one. Isn't it always the way? Right, bear with me. Bear with me. This is going to be very boring with you. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Controls, keyboard. I can't wait till this is fixed, where you change your control input or your controller and you get that thing going on. Right, let's see if this is going to work. I've just got a simple keyboard command that I've got mapped to my loot deck, which is to toggle labels. See if it comes up. Wrong device. That is the wrong device. Idiot. Keyboard. God, this is painful. So I don't want that. I think it might be this one. When you're ready. When you're ready, let's try now. No. Okay, I think we've got it now. No, that's not it. It is not eye tracking reset. Toggle nameplates. There we go. There we go. I knew we'd get there in the end. Okay. There we go. Right. So quick check of the old map so I get an idea where we're going. So 9 knots from over that away. So I don't really want to take off into a mountain, but in for a penny. Sorry, yeah, it's the Western Europe, and it's Bravo Golf, Bravo Whiskey, and Narsa Squawk. Narsa Squawk. Narsa Squawk. It's got to roll off the tongue a little bit better than that, than how I'm pronouncing it. I'm also going to... I'm not crazy about the default zoom, so I'm just going to... There we go, that's a bit better. It gets quite a fisheye lens effect that I'm not used to with the other helicopters, so it makes it a bit tricky. Okay, time to fly. Just the effect of the wind there a little bit, that was interesting. What I love about this helicopter is that it, the relationship between collective movements and pedal, you really do have to get that all nicely synced up. And the scenery just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. This is a gorgeous helicopter. It's got that nice mixture of not being easy to fly, although you always get people in some forums saying, "Oh yeah, it's lovely, it's so easy." It's not, but it's not impossible. It's just enough challenge so that you enjoy it, because it's not flying on rails, and you feel connected to it. It reminds me, it's a similar kind of feeling that I get in the llama. The llama, I just feel so connected to it, and this is very similar. And I have to say, and I'm going to say it, he's not on the stream. I hope he comes in. Dr. Bishop, on the last stream, if you've been watching my streams in the helicopter where we've had some multiplayer stuff going on, had real issues with when I've got other helicopters around me. Sometimes there's almost like a sweet spot where the this really bad stuttering was kicking in, and it was really awful. I mean, it was, you know, PowerPoint presentation speeds. Look at that. The colours. Oh, I'm really glad I chose to come here now. I wasn't so sure initially, but I'm really glad I chose to come here. I'm not even looking at the map. Totally going in the wrong direction because I'm getting distracted by this. Sorry chaps flying along. 180-degree turn, please. Oh, this is good fun. Yeah, it was a real pain in the backside, and tried all sorts of different things, switching the server, changing graphic settings, clearing caches, you know, all the kind of things that you, as a fellow flight simmer, a fellow brother and sister of the virtual skies, you know what I'm talking about. All the things that you do, you flick, you change, you delete, you tweak, you reinstall, you do all these things, and nothing was fixing it. And then look at that. And then Dr. Bishop came along for the first time in the chat. See a slight, we've got a bit of a tsunami there. That's where the mesh isn't quite working with the water. We have water that's defying gravity. I remember seeing that in P3D in areas like Greenland, where there's not a huge amount, I guess it's where there's not a huge amount of data, or where not everybody is going to fly. They don't worry too much, or they don't spend too much time checking, but I'm going to ignore that because I'm just loving the colour of the water. I'm loving the contrast with the snow, the details of the rocks and all that sort of thing. There's a lovely heli. Nice to see the Huey, if I can get the door in the right way. Oh, the Huey's gone. Yeah, so sorry, back to the story. There is a point to this. So Dr. Bishop came along, and you know what it's like when something goes wrong, or when there's an issue. People are being helpful, and and everyone's pretty much coming up with the same thing. Have you changed the setting? Have you cleared the cache? What level have you got your traffic quality on? All that kind of stuff. And then Dr. Bishop came along and said, have you got wake turbulence on? And I read it initially and I thought, have I got wake turbulence on? What's he seeing that would indicate wake turbulence? Is it just the how bad my flying is, or something like that? And then it turned out that he had seen other streamers where they had similar issues, and it was down to having wake turbulence switched on. And I thought, you know what? I'm sure I remember turning that on, because I'm kind of one of those flight simmers that full realism, no assists, and all that kind of stuff. So I had wake turbulence on, and you know what? I turned wake turbulence off, and the FPS, I'm saying stuttering, it wasn't so much stuttering, it was more FPS. The FPS just absolutely dropped. It went away. And it's one of those things with flight sims, how the slightest thing, like when I tried to start, and because I'd turned my head tracking on, for some reason it had turned the starter on, that sort of thing. These little quirks that we get in the sim can make such a difference. So Dr. Bishop, you're not live in the chat, but if you watch the recording of this, thank you again for making such a difference, because here I am flying with a load of other helicopters and not having any issues at all. It's wonderful. Right, so I thought it'd be interesting to have a look at the settlement in case there's anywhere interesting to land. Get a bit of landing practice in, so let's have a quick look. See what we've got. When I'm flying little helicopters in areas like this, it always reminds me of The Thing. I don't know if you've seen the original film with The Thing. That was one of those, when I was very young, one of those inspirational helicopter type films. There's not a huge amount of helicopter action in it, but what is in that? I always had this idea that one day I'd be flying helicopters, I'd be walking around with a big beard, smoking cigarettes and wearing big thick jackets and flying helicopters and looking at people in a kind of a grizzled, all action kind of way. This is rather spectacular. Okay, well I'm not seeing anywhere particularly interesting to put down as such, so let's have a look at this road. Where's the wind? So we've got 13 knots on the nose now. Trying to see somewhere that's relatively flat. Relatively flat and not too boring. So that isn't. Oh, let's take some avoiding action. There we go. Just that road there. Oh, we go down on the shore. Let's land on the ice. There's the Huey. Huey demonstrating its amphibious properties. Just watching that there, and I need to shut up and dial in. Making it a little bit more interesting. Do find with this the slightest movements on the controls have an effect. Looks like we do have a bit of a slope here. Closer to the water, the less the slope, I would imagine. Right, let's gently, and we're down. One of the other interesting things about this is the high skid version. And I always, I say I always, God, I've only flown the 086A once. It's getting getting a feel for the height of your view with the high skids in. Doge, thanks for joining. Good to have you along, mate. See you on the next one. Nick, you've been called into the office, man, on a Saturday. That's not good. That's not good. Here we go. So we've got our Hueys, we've got our other 500. What else have we got going on? Let's zoom out a bit. Loving the scenery. Very atmospheric. Look at that. The Huey there. Let's scoot over here. The Huey is a beautiful helicopter. I do love flying it. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Calm yourself down. That's interesting. Looking around the views did something to the helicopter then. Yeah, TOAG does make a rather spectacular helicopter, that's for sure. Okay, right. While I'm on the ground, I'm going to quickly pop it into the chat again. Discord. We have a Discord. If you want to come along and say hello, come along and say hello. Right, lads. So we're going to head off that way now, and then see what we can find. So, time to concentrate again. Just going to back us up a bit. I think I'm going to have to set up some kind of a custom view for the cockpit. It's funny how the door sill there is really prominent in this helicopter, and quite often it's right where you want to look, like there. There we go. Right, where are we on the map? There we go. Always a good idea to look at the map. Ah, Torsten, we have more ice on the water. Are you running live weather? Mind you, that shouldn't make a difference, because I'm running live weather, I just don't have the clouds in. That's strange. Heliflyer, good to have you along. Yeah, it's you're right, the 500 is a beautiful helicopter. Absolutely stunning. I'm loving the scenery here. I know I keep saying it, but considering this is default, the detail up there, it really is a kind of a world explorer, this sim, isn't it? All the different places you can go to and get really good detail in a way that you couldn't before necessarily. Michael, cheers, thanks for joining. I shall see you there when I've stopped flying. Yeah, detail is crazy. I mean, that is just beautiful. Beautiful. Right, check the map, you idiot. There we go. What's that, Torsten? Yes. Are you saying yes that you're on live weather? Interesting that you've got more ice then. Maybe it does make a difference. Maybe having precipitation and cloud on does make a change to where the ice is. You're absolutely right, Robert. New boys' toys. I love this helicopter. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. And I've got so carried away looking at the scenery, I've... whoa! Sorry about that, that's my fault. Suddenly making a change there in the heading. Yeah, it's... well, it's just spectacular. And flying helicopters around scenery like this is just an absolute joy. Right, we need to get back on track because I really have got so carried away with the scenery. I'm not even where I'm meant to be. We're meant to be over here. Careful you don't overdo it. One of the things that I love about this helicopter, of course, is that because it's got damage simulation on it, you do have to be careful. It does make you think a little bit before you start whopping it around like a lunatic. Didn't do that very well. I was going to try and do a kind of brake, run in, brake and land, but didn't quite go to plan. This is the kind of stuff that isn't necessarily the most exciting to watch maybe, but it's good practice. Right, I'm just going to avoid that other 500. I'm going to go for that peak there. I'm just very pleased that I'm actually seeing the other helicopters as they're meant to be. You know, and not Airbuses and that sort of thing. There we go. Again, the high skids there. Judging that the skids touched before I was expecting them to, but that was all right. Okay, pop outside. Ah, okay, so I know what's happening. Okay, don't panic. For some reason, when I go into drone mode, it's affecting the helicopter controls. That's what happened there. So there was me going to do a nice outside shot, and my game controller that I use for cameras was actually flying the bleeding helicopter. How rude. Okay, let's just come back down. Right, this is where I wanted to go. On the map it looked a little bit more interesting, but we'll see what's there. We'll do a land on down here, and then go back to an outside view, but using the... I'm going to try use the kind of spot camera. And then I can have a sip of tea, because I've got a mug of tea here, but it's not going anywhere because I'm doing this. And you know, let's face it, why the hell would you have a cup of tea sitting next to you when you're already cooking in a baking room? That is a little bit silly, isn't it? Yeah, you're right, Alan. I don't know if you... I was waffling on about it before. I am on live weather, but I've removed the clouds. So where you've got the cloud layers, I've just turned the overcast down to 0. Really, because I wanted the wind, I wanted the challenge of the wind, which is, what, 15 knots at the moment. But I wanted to be able to enjoy the beautiful scenery of Greenland. So I've turned it off, but you can see the wave by the waves. We have some wind going on. I'm absolutely positive that in Greenland they don't pronounce wind as vind, by the way. So here's our little, I think it said it was a camping or something like that, but we've got a little hut down there. Is that a satellite dish? Again, just looking for somewhere slightly interesting to land on that might be flat. How's that looking down there? Okay, I'm going to give that a go, and it's a reasonable target as well. Right. Oué le vent, as they say in France. And I'm sure in Greenland they don't say oué le vent. And in fact, to be fair, let's face it, friends and neighbours, they probably don't say oué le vent in France either, if we're being honest. I don't want to get too geeky with the old linguistics, but I doubt very much that they say oué le vent. In fact, oué le vent means something else. Oué le vent. Oué le vent is something else, I think. Shut up, Rob. Concentrate on flying. That's what happens when you start trying to talk French. You overcook your approach. Okay, let's get back into it. Ooh. Really is the slightest. Oh, that's quite a slope, isn't it? The slightest inputs. I'm going to hop over a bit. I was going to land on that concrete bit, but I think the slope is a bit too much, so let's come over here. We'll land in the bracken. Yeah, bear with me. The slightest control inputs. I don't have any curves set up because I like to have that instant kind of control. And with this helicopter, you really feel that. You really feel it. The slightest movement on the stick or the pedals, and it's doing something. Right. So if I move my camera, there we go. So it's all right in this view. It's just when I was in the. Let's have a look. So I'm now in drone view. Okay, now it's behaving. Look at that. Right, I'm just going to turn off the head tracking. There we go. Let's get the labels on. There we go. Salute to the chaps. Cheers, boys. How's the sound level, by the way? Because now it's going to be really loud with the engine noise. So if you can still hear me with the engine noise at this level, then it should be good. Let me know. I just realised. There we go. 202 Squadron. Right, we'll get rid of me now. Good, cheers Alan. Great, thank you Virtuous Sim, much appreciated. Okay. Whew. Yeah, it's awesome, brilliant. That's great. Do you know what? I said to Dr. Bishop the other night, and he will forever be known as Dr. Bishop. In fact, he shouldn't be Dr. Bishop. He should be Mr. Bishop because, of course, he's a consultant. He's at that level. It's crazy. I would never have thought in all the times that I was messing about with caches and graphic settings and all that sort of thing. I would never have thought, hang on a minute, Rob, hang on, sunshine. If you turn off the wake turbulence, that's going to make the FPS issue go away. So yeah, Dr. Bishop is a star. Right. Oh, hello. What have we got over there? There he is, Aidan. Coming back in after his PC crash. It's I mean, you know, because I'm sure you're watching this because you're a flight simmer, but that is just damn annoying when that happens. Really is damn annoying. Okay, right, so quick look. We are now going to be going in that direction, but the wind is coming from that direction. It's 9 knots. So I'm going to take off. I'm going to do a left turn into wind, pick up some transitional lift, do a 180 turn and fly on course. And our obstacles are houses, helicopters. So we've got some high ground there, so we just need to be a little bit mindful of that. Okay, lifting. Oh, hello. That was interesting. Oh, I overcompensated for the wind a little bit there. Let's come round the high ground. Round the high ground. Oh, she suddenly realised the wind's actually coming from this direction. That's interesting. Did that change, or did I just have a moment of madness? But while we're doing it, look at that! My God! So realistic. Fly the helicopter. There we go. I'm so glad it's turned out like this. I took a bit of a risk flying in Greenland because, you know, areas like this in Sims sometimes are just a little bit dodgy. But I'm really pleased with how this looks. It's looking good. Just say hello to that hut. Right, so we're going to go to the end of this piece here. On Google Maps I had ice floating in it, but we don't have the ice. It does look blooming cold though, doesn't it? Just scoot over here. Can hear a helicopter nearby, so just making sure I don't bump into him. I mean, the detail on the cliff there, stunning. A closer look. So we've got a little road or a path or something there. Love the ground detail. I still remember flying around these areas in something like P3D where you just get kind of repeated texture tiles, and to see something like this, it really puts you there. And I've got to say, I mean, damn it, the detail on the snow. I've got to say, considering I am slowly air frying myself in this room and we do have a heat wave, there is something quite soothing about flying over all this snow. Without a doubt. Sparky, how the devil are you, sir? Hope all is good with you, mate. I know Sparky likes his helicopters. .500 there. One of the things I'm also looking forward to, or hoping gets sorted out in maybe SU3 or later updates, is sometimes the distance at which other objects get loaded into the sim visually is a little bit too close. It would be nice to see them a bit further out. Oh, there's the Huey. I don't know which Huey it is. Watch the water. See if I can. There we go. I love the Huey. Sparky, you've got the right idea, mate. Absolutely right idea there. Today is the kind of weather to go and sit in a nice pub garden somewhere. Right, just popping up here. Let's have a look round. Just really looking for anything of interest. Any interesting features. Any interesting buildings. Sometimes it's one of the kind of things that's fun to do in the sim in helicopters is when you find something interesting, just take a closer look, maybe get a bit of practice at low speed handling, do a land on, all that kind of stuff. Right, quick check of the old mappage. I don't think we're necessarily going to see it, I might be surprised, but kind of hoping we might see some glaciers. There are glaciers here, not necessarily where we are right now, but there's one where we're going to end up, so I'm hoping we're going to see that. Nice that we're seeing some ice breaking up on the water there. So I'm guessing, yeah, it's hard to tell from Google Maps, but this might be the head of a glacier, but I'm not so sure. Not so sure. Yeah, so we just need to pop it around here. Checking the time. Now I'm going to jump outside. This is where it all goes wrong. There we go. Gorgeous helicopter. I love the high skid version. The low skid version looks a bit strange to me. Bless it. Don't want to offend it, but the high skid version just looks so cool. It's got that nice kind of it's quite a small helicopter, and with the lovely, look at that. with the smaller rotor disc, smaller fuselage, long skids. It's kind of got that go anywhere, do anything look about it, which I quite like. Right, sorry Huey, just going to drop under you. Okay. Oh, it is getting hot in here. I watched the clip last night of the famous Ride of the Valkyries scene from Apocalypse Now, and I said in the Discord chat that I was now having visions of 500s and Hueys flying with each other, and that's what we're doing. Harry, where are you going to land? Landing at a few places, doing a bit of practicing, but eventually back to Narsasquatch. Trying to get it to roll off the tongue, but it's not. Play the tune in your head. funny, formation flying in helicopters is something I've not done a great deal of, but it is rather lovely. Right, let's come back round, quick check of the map, make sure that we're concentrating. Concentrate on your flying, boy. That's so good. Wookie. Oh, thank you, that's very kind of you. I'm glad you find him useful. I'll never say that I don't do much in the way of tutorials. I don't do much in the way of, I guess, what you call traditional reviews, because I always think you've got to be, kind of got to be a bit of an expert in what you're talking about to do tutorials and reviews. But hopefully, you know, apart from just sheer entertainment and laughing when I do it wrong, there are some things that are useful to people. I tend to try and keep my mistakes in the sim, in the video, just to for myself as well, because it's a good way of, for me it's a good way of remembering, it's a good way of learning, but also just for other people. There will be some that will say, oh, I can't believe you just did that. And then there will be others that will say, oh, that's what happens to me too. Okay, and you know, it might help them as well. Right, I'm just going to come up, let's go up to the high ground. Just because the detail is just, I honestly, when I plotted this out on the map, I did not expect that the scenery itself, I didn't expect the mountains were going to be so detailed, so I'd plotted a route that was more kind of skirting around them, but this is just spectacular. Just keeping an eye on all my instruments. Checking that everything's okay. Especially the torque. Nice thing about the 500C is that it's got a VSI in it as well, which the OH6A doesn't. Look at the scree there, the detail in the scree slope. Crazy. Okay, so speed's dropping now, so I need to be a little bit careful. It certainly gets twitchier as the speed drops, but I just want to get over to here. And it's hidden by the door at the moment, but we've got quite a nice peak next to us. She certainly climbs very nicely, that's for sure. We're not, it doesn't feel that we're having to really stretch the engine to get a nice climb rate. Right, let's just curl round now. And keep that there. Making sure that the terrain in the direction that we're flying in is not too high, because my visibility is restricted by that. There we go. Okay. Let's come round. Now, is there anything quite flat? So I can see by the Huey there that peak at the top is actually wider than it looks from here. So why the hell not? Why the hell not? I'm just feeding out what the helicopter's doing at the moment, because it's doing what's the wind? 18 knot wind where we are. 18 knot wind from the left. And I can feel it's just being a little bit twitchy, so I'm having to do quite a bit of work on the pedals just to keep it stable, and then all of a sudden it will change direction. So the top of that looks quite domed, so probably not great, but again, there's the Huey. It's one of the things about doing this kind of flying. Search and rescue crews, you know, talk about how a human being, if you're looking for a human being there, you've got nothing to reference how big that human being would actually be unless you've got crew on the ground already, and you can say, your eye can look at it and say, okay, that's how big a human being is. And then you get a perspective for what the terrain, you know, the actual real physical dimensions of the terrain relative to your helicopter, and also relative to the human target that you're looking for. So I'm looking at that dome there thinking, well, just how big is it? It's obviously a curved shape, but is it not too curved that I can land on it? So let's have a look. I'm getting that fisheye lens effect, which I find quite off-putting. Okay, let's just get control. And we are down. There we go. Just a little bit of that's interesting. I guess that's the physics being simulated, isn't it? It just slid a little bit there. We touched down, but then it was just skiing for a little bit, which was quite interesting. Oh God, I love this. I love this far too much. Right, where are we? Harry Fisher, could you your flight planner so I can find you? Yeah, sure. Okay, bear with me. Let me just lock off that. Let's go to a little nav map. So this is where we are right now. So there's NASA Squawk, NASA Squawk, NASA Squawk, NASA Squawk, NASA Squawk, NASA Squawk. I'm going to get it right, but I don't know what right is. I think it's NASA Squawk. We're here on the top of this mountain, so there's no the nearest airport is there. So basically what we're going to be doing is I think we'll fly over this way and then over to this waypoint, which is on a glacier. I nearly said glacier then. Goodness gracious, get that plum out of your mouth. And then we'll come down the glacier and then just see how we go. So yeah, I mean, you could, if you wanted to, you could spawn in at NASA Squawk, and you could fly over that way and kind of meet us around about there somewhere, I guess. Or you could join. I tell you what, you could also do is, of course, now in 2024, you can spawn on the ground, can't you? You can select a point on the ground with your engines running, or cold and dark, or whatever. So that's all good. Okay, right. Let's come out of that booth. There we go. Right, slurp of tea again. Oh man, it is getting hot in this room. Oh, you can see we're moving to the left, so sorry, to the right. So just need to put a bit of right stick in because we're at full chat. Must keep remembering to do that. Oh no, Alan. Hope you're back in the air, old boy. Oh, cheers, Robert. It's good to have you along. Have a wonderful holiday. Wherever you are off to, sir, have a wonderful holiday. Wish you all the best, mate. Okay, so let's get the old head tracking back on. Quick check. There we go. Collective is all the way down. That's all good. So wind is 9 knots from my left. Obstacles not too many because we're actually on the peak, but I am going to scoot that way a bit, pick up some transitional lift, and then head back. So, lifting. Whoa. That was interesting. That's what happens when you get carried away. Carried away looking at things rather than concentrating. You do have to have your wits around you, not your whips. No whips here. But you definitely have to have your wits about you when you're flying this, because, as I said, the slightest, certainly the way I've got my controllers anyway, the slightest input has an effect, which is great for control, but not great when you're busy looking at something else rather than concentrating on what the helicopter's doing. Okay, so let's scoot over here. Where's that big? So we actually want to be on the other side of that ridge. Looking at the engine instruments. Looking okay. Torque, temperatures, RPM, all our pressures. Happy with that. Oh no, not quite. Still a bit further. There's a lovely Huey shot. It's going to be so cool when they get the rotors working in multiplayer. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so when the Huey gets really close, the rotors are turning. When it's further away, that old LOD thing is stopping it. Ah, that's a shame, Alan. Well, good to have you along, mate. I hope you have a good day. Always good to fly with you. There we go. Look at that. The Chinook arriveth. That'll be Ado. In case you're watching this channel for the first time, I tend to live stream a lot of HEMS work with the H145 High Performance Group H145 and the Random and Anywhere mod. And Ado in the Chinook there, it always provides valuable service flying the backup Chinook that contains all the tea and medals and biscuits that are required for the crew. But I thought I'd do something a bit different for this stream. I thought I'd fly the 500 and get a bit of practice in at the same time. So we're just going to, yeah, scoot up here. Oh, you're in the Huey, are you? Okay. Who has switched to the good old Chinook? I'm not in a position to reach my magic late. Oh no, I can actually, because I've got it on the loop deck. Engage. No. Let's try over here. DJ Fish. Whoever DJ Fish is, very nice. See, that's what I'm talking about. You see the way the helicopter has now disappeared. There it is, and it's suddenly back again. It'd be great when Asobo get that fixed in multiplayer. Another Huey down there. Okay, so this is the valley down here that we want to drop into. So let's scoot around. Again, look at the detail, it's mad. JT Australia, this is 24. I could hear some lovely rotor slap then. This is 24 and you can see in the distance right over there, those distant mountains. The scenery is a little bit low res, but to be honest with you, it just blends into the background because what we've got here in the near and I guess the middle distance is pretty good. I certainly don't have any complaints. time coming up to 12 o'clock. That's alright. The lovely Mrs. Dreams of Wings will be home shortly, and then we should be having our lunch, and then probably finding somewhere to slow roast, I should think. Oh, let's watch the speed. There we go. You have to be so damn careful. Flying in terrain like this, it's very easy for me to get carried away, and before I know it, I'm overspeeding. Which, let's face it, nobody likes. Harry, you're in the Chinook. Excellent. JT Australia is shockingly noticeable for me, and I hate it. Also, performance, it's super horrible. Okay. I gotta say, I don't notice it, really. Like now, to me, the scenery looks great. I'm not really paying too much attention to what is really in the far distance over there. But everything else looks pretty damn good to me. And we've just been talking about how good the scenery looks close up, so that's certainly not an issue. And performance, it's super horrible. Yeah, again, performance for me is great. Don't have any issues at all. Sparky, do you have photogrammetry on? Are you asking me, Sparky? You're asking JT. I definitely have it on, as hopefully you can tell. Just looking to see what this settlement looks like here, but it's okay. Just a few buildings, nothing great. Band of trees, bridge. What's the wind doing? 15 knots from that away. Okay. Not a great deal, but whoa. Chinook flyby. Right, let's pick a target. Getting a bit lower so I can get an idea of the lay of the land. So there's like a dark green patch up there that looks a little bit flatter near the building, so let's head on over there. Just had a thought there, the people of that village. You imagine suddenly this there you are having a peaceful Saturday, and all of a sudden these helicopters descend on you from nowhere. Wow. So damn cool. I wonder why it picks certain, like it's picking that livery. It's favouring that livery for the 500, but I wonder why. Interesting. Okay, let's do I'm going to pop out, quickly check that me moving the controls isn't going to change anything. Helicopter's behaving itself. Trying to get to a point where I can get everyone in the shot. And then, there we go. That's everyone who's joined. Fantastic. Definitely need to do more in the way of helicopter group flights. Huge amount of fun. Right, time for me to have a slurp of tea, catch up with the chat. JT Australia, I believe it's been a bug noted on forums. There's low LOD, far away spots. I do it. Okay, so they're just having a chat about that. That's good. Roman Kilo, I see some green now. The snow's blown away by the rotors. They call it, yeah. Guy, how you doing? How does she fly? Guy, I'm in love with this helicopter. Absolutely in love with it. Come on. Absolutely in love with it. It's such good fun. It flies beautifully. You feel very connected to it. You feel what can I say? I'm in love with it. I really am. Okay, so we are almost there. Almost there. What we're going to do now is head over the top of that hill. Head over to the glacier, which may or may not be spit the words out. May or may not be modelled in the sim. We'll find out. And then we go back to Narsarsuaq, and we shall land, and then it's tea and medals all around, courtesy of the Chinook there. Okay, looks like we're having a PT session here. Everyone's jumped out. We've got some moonwalking going on. JT mod place, we're on the Western Europe. Western Europe. Probably got about, I would say, maybe about another 15 minutes left in the flight. Okay. Look at that. Oh, this is what I was talking about last night when I said about watching that Ride of the Valkyrie scene. Hueys and 500s together, and you got that Chinook there as well. This is fantastic. And thanks to Dr. Bishop, I'm going to mention him again. Thanks to Dr. Bishop. The FPS is wonderful. Okay. Quick look down, T's and P's, everything's good. Happy with that. Nothing's breaking. I've not overdone anything. Fuel is absolutely fine. We've got no warning lights. Let's go. Okay, get back into it. Obstacles, building, other helicopters, lots of helicopters. Wind is 10 knots from the left. I'm going to lift. I'm going to move over to the right slightly. That's the plan. Fly around all these guys so I don't get in their way, and get some transitional lift, and off we go. Oh, what on earth? That's different. I think someone's brought a strimmer in to clear it. Maybe they're clearing an LZ. Okay, I'm just watching that Chinook. Moving over to the right, get out of the way, scoot round. So far it's going to plan. Get some lift in. There's a Chinook right next to me, I can see the shadow. Okay, and then I think should be a little ravine. Yeah, okay. We'll head for the ravine. Yeah, I don't know what to say, Guy. I think, I mean, you're definitely a helicopter purist, so I think you might well appreciate it. I'm kind of the opposite. I've got a huge amount of interest in this type, purely from an aesthetics point of view and a childhood point of view, and I love the fact that it's so small and nimble, and you can, you know, really get around and explore in it, and it's good fun. But I know you're more of a Lynx man, and I ain't talking about the underarm spray. Neither. There's the ravine. Right, let's make sure we've got plenty of climbing. Don't want any nasty surprises. Yeah, looking forward to the Dauphin. JT, how do you have model matching? For me, everyone is default. I have air traffic, I think is the setting, set to ultra, and that way I seem to get everything. You know, I seem to get the best response from it. Right, just check on the map. Yeah, we're on course for a change. Keep that climb in, have a look down, engine's good. Say engines are good, we've just got our tiny little engine. Pop over the top of the Chinook. Just give him a bit of room there because I don't know if he knows I'm here. There we have the Huey. Right. Now, as the speed has dropped a little bit, the anti-torque pedals are coming into play a little bit more. So keeping that climb in, watching the torque, make sure we keep some speed on. Don't really want to go into a hover, so let's keep that bit of nose down. A bit more on the collective, but again watching the torque. There we go. She climbed so well. This is, as I said at the beginning, this is a little bit more powerful than the military version, although she might be a little bit heavier maybe, but yeah. Très intéressant. Lagging like crazy. Right, JT. Have you got, and bear with me on this, have you got wake turbulence on in your settings? There you go. Trust me. Wake turbulence is what will be doing it. It might make no sense, but that's what it is. And thanks to, I'm going to say it again because I owe him a lot, Dr. Bishop. Dr. Bishop cured my ailments by telling me about that. When both myself and everyone else was saying, oh, clear the cache, turn this setting down, try changing server, try doing that. He just pops in and says, have you got wake turbulence on? And you think, what? But it works. Okay, so this is where we want to go, but I'm just trying to go to the head of the glacier. Not the source of the glacier, but the kind of the top bit here, and then we can have a closer look at it, because again this is just default scenery and I'm really interested to see how it comes into play. Yeah, JT, I don't know if it affects fixed wing as well, but it's almost like with helicopters, it just doesn't like wake turbulence. And what happens is, when I was finding when helicopters were at a certain distance from my helicopter, all of a sudden my FPS would just absolutely fall through the floor. Oh my lord, look at this. This is default scenery, and my God, this could be real right now. Isn't that crazy? I'm so glad I picked here to come. Quick check of the map. The detail on that rock face there. Unbelievable. Right. Let's get a bit closer to here. The map is wound out a little bit too far, so I can't specifically see the detail, but it looks like where we're flying now is actually coming to where the kind of the edge of the glacier is, where it's where the melt point is. It's been a long time since I did Geography A level, a long time, so I can't remember the actual proper name for it. I remember terminal moraine, but we're coming to the end of the melting point of the glacier, or the very edge. Here we have a little hut. Be a brave soul to hang around in there, wouldn't you? But he has got satellite TV, so there you go. Tiny, isn't it? It's literally a bay window with a satellite dish on it. Getting some interesting rotor noises. That means that someone is quite close. Let's have a look at the edge of the glacier. It's going to be pretty flat. Whereas obviously in real life you'd have a bit more of an edge to it, I would have thought. But here we go. What I love about it is that because of the photogrammetry, you do get that feeling that the water is very clear because you can see the stones and everything. Look at that. Mad. Oh, getting some mesh hijinks going on there. I tell you what would be cool actually would be to set up a camp here with P-42's camp out and just chill out. That would be pretty cool. Okay. Let us head back to Narsarsuaq. That way. To that place. My brain isn't capable of trying to pronounce the name properly and fly a sprightly helicopter at the same time. Guy, this is the Western Europe server. It is I'm going to say Narsarsuaq, which I can't look at the ICAO at the moment. BGBW, but old chap, we are literally 4 nautical miles from landing and ending. Just coming to the close of it now. Really is an interesting place to fly. Must do some warbird flying around here as well. I think it would be good fun, given how detailed the landscape is. It would be good fun to do some low flying in the warbirds. Note to self to remember to arrange that. So now we're coming onto the flatter area. The alluvial plain. Actually, I think that's more to do with rivers, isn't it? Do we have any geographers or geologists in the house? I can see a little 500. There it is. Now, of course, what's happening at the moment, I think what it's doing is, all we can see is the cockpit internals of the 500 because the crazy MSFS 2024 LODs. There's the Huey. There's the Huey. Try and give him a bit of a distance over here. Oh, this helicopter is so good to fly. It just feels so connected. So smooth, so responsive. Right, there's the Huey. Watch the Huey. Let's come back over a bit. Duck under there. Scoot along the tree line. It's pretty clever how Asobo have done the trees in Microsoft 2024. I had the Rex AccuSeason in 2020, and I've got to say I've actually not really missed it in 2024 because of how good the trees are and everything. Right, 12 from there. Checking the windsock. Yeah, that kind of matches. So I'm just going to do a simple circuit round again. Conscious of the fact I am on multiplayer and there may be someone who's actually, you know, they could be doing a transatlantic ferry flight or something, and then they turn up here doing a perfectly executed IFR approach. And they fly into something reminiscent of Apocalypse Now. So I don't want to get in their way if that's what they're doing. So let's scoot over here. You can see the windsock down there. Wind is 15 knots. So we're going to come back round this way, then do an approach to the runway, and then hover taxi in. And then that's a good bit of practice for me for some low speed handling and hover taxiing, and that's all good. Love how blue that water is. I just called someone to do a go around, or is that just a funny? Okay. Hopefully that Optica, or is that just model matching? Oh, it could just be model matching. Thank God for that. I thought I'd ruined someone's flight there. Trying to compensate for the high skids, but probably taxiing a little bit too high here, but that's okay. Cut the corner a bit there. Watch the collective. this is the first helicopter where I've really thought I might build some curves, and I don't know, like at this point now, so sensitive, slightest movement on the collective, and it's doing stuff. So we landed on the left skid first, then it spun around a bit. Yeah, well, wow, good God. It is hot. As they used to say in ancient Rome, sweatius maximus. Right. Well, they didn't actually, but let's just lock off the old heads tracking. I tell you what I'm going to do, actually. I'm also going to just winding down the engine into idle. Just reducing the throttle down a bit. Right, let's have a roll of honour. Look at that. Parking on the building. We'll get fined. Nicely done though. So, here is everyone. Thank you ever so much for joining, guys. It's been great fun flying with you, I have to say. It's always nice. One of the things I love about streaming is that you get to talk to people and you get to fly with them, which is a huge amount of fun. So it's been good having you along. Quick catch up with the chat. When everyone is parked, Chinook flyover. Okay. First time flying with you, Rob. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Please keep post flight plan on Discord. Thanks, Richard. How do you fly? Yeah, no, good to have you along. Wonderful you joined for the first time. Look forward to seeing you on again soon, mate. I will do. It's a little navmap flight plan, but I'll stick it on the Discord in the group flight section. Wookie, was it you that said you don't like the Alouette? I don't like the Alouette, and it's very shallow, but it's aesthetics. The helicopter itself to fly is great, and the Llama, which is very akin to the Alouette, I adore it. The Llama was always my Spitfire of the helicopter world in terms of the sim. I think this 500C might just be, or the OH6A actually, to be fair, might just be my new Spitfire type helicopter. But the Alouette is, in my mind, is an ugly beast, and I know a lot of people love it, Torsten included. Torsten and I have a running joke about Alouettes. What's this guy? Apparently the ground crews in Norway used to have to stand on their skids on the links when it engaged, as the aircraft would spin under the torque. Listen, this ain't top trumps, alright? Stop showing off about your links. I should say Guy works on helicopters in the real world. He's an engineer. That's one of his. I fly that livery on the H145 in the sim. That is 202 Squadron. And this mug actually came from Historic Helicopters, which is the outfit that Guy works for. There you go, Guy. Give me a plug there. And a plug for your mug. Blah, blah, blah. Right. It looks like Harry wants to do a flyover. Harry, where are you, boy? DJ Fish, there he is. Just for you. I don't normally do this, but just for you. I'm going to put the camera right over here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to look to your left, we now have a CH-47D Chinook about to perform a textbook flyover. This manoeuvre was first practiced in 1832 and over the years has been developed and refined. And now DJ Fish is going to show us how it's done in 2024. It's going to appear any second. There we go. And there we have a Chinook flyover. Excellent, well done. It's just such a shame. This is what I'm talking about with the LODs. Suddenly, pff, it disappears. That's a bit of a pain when it does that. Hopefully they will get that fixed. Fly Danube, thanks for subscribing. Wonderful to have you along. I should say this channel isn't monetized. I do it purely because it's great to share, and it's great to do this kind of thing, fly with people and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice when people subscribe purely from the point of view that they get what this is about, and they want to see more of it. So I always do appreciate it when people subscribe, and also it helps the channel grow and all that kind of malarkey. Anyway, listen, I've taken up enough of your Saturday. I've now reached the point where if you stuck one of those temperature gauge, those meat temperature gauges in me, I'm probably at the point where it would say medium to well done, I should think. So I'm now going to go and jump in an ice bath. But it's been great having you along. Thanks to the guys that joined in the sim, flying along. And if you haven't caught it, there is a video on the channel that I posted up. I think it went up yesterday morning on the like a first impressions flying the OH6A in the Philippines. Completely different scenery, very green, very lush, great fun. That video is up there now. We do have the Discord, and I'm going to post the link to that for the last time, so I don't keep flogging the old Discord. There you go. If you want to come along and say hello, great community there, and I will see you there and say hello. 202 Squadron. 202 Squadron. Anyway, I've waffled enough. Thanks for joining, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.